The screens are red. Again, portfolios are down 30, some 40% in a matter of days. Retail investors are panicking. Influencers are disappearing. And once again, the crowd mistakes volatility for collapse. But let me remind you of something fundamental. An architect does not fear the storm. He tests the foundation. Today is March 4th, 2026. Bitcoin is currently dancing in a high tension range between $65,000 and $70,000. The air is thick with uncertainty. To the untrained eye, this looks like exhaustion. This looks like the end of the cycle. But to an architect, this is a shakeout. This is a structural inspection of every single position in the market. When the wind hits a city, weak buildings fall, over-leveraged structures crumble, speculative vapor disappears. But the strong ones, the ones with deep-rooted utility, they prove their design. Today, we are not chasing green candles. We are not gambling on moonshots. We're examining structural integrity, because the future will not belong to traders who react to every 5% move. It will belong to the architects who prepare while the world is distracted. Don't just trade the trend, architect the future. Let's look at the blueprints of the global economy right now. In early 2026, we are seeing a massive shift in liquidity. The easy money era of pure speculation is over. Capital is becoming selective. We see the altcoin season index sitting at a low 35, which tells us that the smart money is consolidating. They aren't leaving crypto, they are moving into high conviction infrastructure. The AI equity sector, which stayed overheated throughout late 2025, is finally cooling down. Investors are looking for the digital steel and digital cement that will support the next decade of growth. This correction in the 65,000 to 70,000 range is necessary. Every mega cycle requires a final purge of the weak structures before the final ascent to six figures. The question isn't whether we break 100,000. The question is, which projects will actually be standing to reap the rewards? Let's examine the 5 pillars that form the foundation of my 2026 portfolio. First pillar, Chainlink. What is it? In 2026, Chainlink has evolved far beyond a simple oracle. It is a universal language of value. Why is it unshakable? Because real-world assets, trillions of dollars in bonds, treasuries, and real estate are finally moving on-chain at scale. And global institutions do not experiment with second-best infrastructure. They standardize. Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol has become the SWIFT of the blockchain world. When BlackRock tokenizes a fund or when a central bank settles a digital security, they need secure, verified, and tamper-proof data feeds. The architect's perspective, Link is not a hype token. It is the plumbing of the new financial city. You can live in a house without a fancy coat of paint, but you cannot survive in a city without plumbing. Chainlink is the most undervalued utility in the entire stack. Second pillar, Solana. For years, critics said Solana was too centralized or too unstable. But in 2026, with Firedancer 2.0 fully operational and pushing the network toward 1 million transactions per second, those arguments are dead. This is not just an incremental improvement. This is structural scalability that leaves competitors in the dust. Why is this a foundation? Because the next wave of human interaction, decentralized social media, high-frequency AI microtransactions, and massive gaming economies demands sub-second execution. Ethereum builds beautiful, expensive cathedrals, but Solana builds cities. It has become the primary construction site for the decentralized internet. Capital follows developers, and in 2026, the most talented architects are building on Solana. Third pillar, render. We are currently facing a global structural GPU shortage. AI models are becoming massive, and the demand for training and rendering is growing exponentially. But render isn't just about AI. It is the backbone for spatial computing. In a world where devices like the Apple Vision Pro have become mainstream, the need for real-time, high-fidelity rendering is non-negotiable. Render distributes GPU power globally. It allows an AI developer in London to tap into unused computing capacity in Tokyo. The architect's perspective. In every industrial revolution, the entities that control energy win. In the digital revolution, compute is the new energy. Render is the power grid. It is the network that provides the electricity for the entire AI era. Fourth pillar, ONDO finance. ONDO sits at the critical intersection of Wall Street and DeFi. Through its massive 2026 partnership with Binance and major global custodians, it has finally democratized access to institutional-grade products. We are talking about tokenized U.S. treasuries and yield-bearing instruments that are accessible to anyone with an internet connection. Why does this survive the 70,000 volatility? Because tokenization is not speculative. It is an efficiency play. It reduces settlement time from days to seconds. It removes the middlemen. The architect's perspective. Follow the capital allocators. They move slowly, but when they move, they build permanently. Wall Street has chosen the bridge, and that bridge is ONDO. Fifth pillar, bit and soar. As we look toward the 2030s, AI will become geopolitical infrastructure. The decentralization of intelligence will be as important as the decentralization of money was in 2009. BitNZor is an open source intelligence economy. It incentivizes global contributors to train, validate, and improve AI models collaboratively, rather than letting a single corporation own the truth. The architect's perspective. Smart cities need smart systems, and smart systems require a decentralized brain that cannot be switched off by a single government or company. BitNZor is the protocol for collective cognition. It is the brain of our digital empire. Manage your algorithms, not your emotions. At $70,000, greed is far more dangerous than fear. Most people will over-leverage here, trying to catch the last move, only to be wiped out by a simple 10% wick. Architects do not panic during volatility. They adjust their load-bearing structures. They look at the 5-year plan, not the 5-minute chart. I've shown you my 5 pillars for the 2026 era, but every great city has a hidden foundation. What is a 6th coin on your watch list for this correction? Is it a deepen project? A new layer 2? Tell me in the comments and I will personally examine its architecture. If you are tired of reacting to the noise, if you want to build a digital empire instead of gambling on candles, then subscribe. Join this community of architects, because markets will rise, markets will fall, but those who understand structure, they're the ones who design the skyline. And in 2026, while others fear the storm, we build.